Amazing Indians, a quest to find real-life stories of extraordinary individuals. This week we bring you 3 inspiring stories of amazing Indians who are selfless, talented and committed. Meet the husband and wife duo of Kalyan and Anita Paul, who are restoring the ecosystem and building a stronger community in Uttarakhand. From picking up the paintbrush as a toddler to blending the paint perfectly, Arushi Bhatnagar has all that it takes to be an amazing artist. Get inspired by Dr. Bharat Watwani, a doctor who has dedicated his life towards treating the homeless, mentally ill and reuniting them with their families. Behind the Himalayas, snowy slopes and green valleys lies a life that is fraught with hardships for its local people. Bringing a significant change in the quality of life for these mountain communities in the Almora district of Uttarakhand is the city-bred couple Kalyan and Anita Paul. They established the Pan-Himalayan Grassroots Development Foundation, or Grassroots as it is also called, in 1991.
What we did as a strategy in Grassroots was we did some pilots, we did some demonstrations, and we let those demonstrations speak for themselves. And and since we were meeting some of the direct needs, like say for water or energy, which is the everyday requirement for improving the quality of life.
Inspired by their stint with the National Dairy Development Board in Gujarat, the Pauls decided to take the road less travelled and travelled all the way to the hill station to initiate a holistic mountain development program.
In many ways, I think, the Dairy Board experience, it laid the foundations of our working lives, because that was a tremendously rich experience we had. We worked under the greats like Dr. Kurian.
After studying the ecology of the region, they realized that an important factor in the forest decline was the villagers' need for using firewood for cooking.
जंगल से लकड़ी लाते थे, फिर चूल्हे में लगाते थे, फिर खाना बनाते थे, उससे धुआं लगता था, फिर हमने गैस बनाई, फिर गैस में हमें फायदा था, धुआं कम लगता था और खाना हमें पूरा बनता था, सुबह शाम हम उसी में बनाते थे खाना.
We went ahead and in 87 we put up 10 units in different altitudes, going up to 7,000 feet, and we observed them minutely for a whole year. And so based on that little pilot of 10 units in 1987, we started the biogas program basically, and it has now spread to so many river basins in Uttarakhand and in Himachal Pradesh. Get 4 hours of cooking gas every day, and so the house is smoke free. You reduce the drudgery of collecting that much of firewood from the forest. Then you get an excellent slurry.
For building these biogas plants, they formed the Kumaon Artisans Guild and started training the local youth as barefoot engineers.
650 गांव में 2500 से ऊपर हिमाचल और यहाँ मिलाकर के बायोगैस बना दिए हैं. 350 गांव में 500 से ऊपर हैंडपंप बना दिए हैं. कम से लगभग आपका 1 लाख लोग जो है उससे पानी पी रहे हैं। मतलब कम्युनिटी में बहुत चेंजेज हैं। आज हम पहले से कहते थे कि बायोगैस की डिमांड के लिए हमें गांव तक जाना पड़ता था या कि आप बनाओ, तो आज लोग देख के कि ये बहुत एक चीज़ है, तो डिमांड गांव से गिल्ड के ऊपर कि आप आकर के हमारा एक हैंडपम्प बना दीजिए या आप आकर के मेरा बायोगैस बना दीजिए।
जो प्लांट लग रहे हैं सब लोगों को पता है कि इसको भी देखने का।
While the guild helped curb migration of men to the cities,
कर सकता है और डिमांड लेके
the Mahila Umang Samiti was started to help women find livelihood.
Traditionally, you know, mountain hill communities are agrarian by nature, and they do something like what we call subsistence farming, which means they used to produce enough for their own requirements and they didn't really have any linkages with the market. We thought that there was nice temperate soft fruits like apricots and plums, you know, so whether we could value add to that because it's otherwise very perishable in nature. We also thought that since we are in nice cold climates, mountains, people link it with woolens, you know, so there was a USP over there. And the spirit team members of grassroots, all the girls who were with us, they had the conviction to move out and hive out and form Umang as a separate entity. The strength of this organization is then the shareholders are from the region, they sit on the board, they decide the policies, the profits are theirs, everything belongs to them, and that I think is the mandate of organizations like change makers like us.
Today, Umang is a network of 2,000 women spread over hundreds of villages, governed by self-help groups.
उमंग से जब से जुड़े हैं तब से कोई झिझक नहीं, मतलब काफ़ी उत्साह है मन में। जो एक उमंग ने हमें एक नई दिशा दी, अपने पैर पर खड़ा होना सिखाया, तो अब काफ़ी अच्छा लगता है, काफ़ी बदलाव आ गया। अपने पैर पर खड़े हैं और अपने बेटे को भी एक अच्छे स्कूल में पढ़ा रहे हैं, अभी मकान भी अपने ही है, उमंग के सहयोग।
From empowering women to community development projects, Anita and Kalyan Paul's holistic approach to the root problems make them our true grassroots soldiers.
My name is Arushi Bhatnagar. I study in 5th class. I like to paint very much because I like colors.
10-year-old Arushi found her first love as a toddler. She picked up the brush at a very young age to paint the chapters of history, making her a prodigy.
I started when I was 4 months. No one trained me, no one helped me. I started using the brush and paint because I wanted to play with the colors. I saw colors and I started playing with them on the floor.
Her passion for painting made her set milestones as she held her first solo exhibition when she was only 11 months old. And since then, there's been no looking back for this girl. She has held more than 50 exhibitions in the past 10 years.
When I was 1 year old, I was in my mother's father's lab and I attended the first competition in Bhopal. That time I was only 1 year old and I enjoyed it very much and I got the first trophy.
We have taken her to a lot of art galleries. So far she has not been trained. It's just that whatever we see, we try to explain her. इसने जो भी कुछ बनाया है मैं उसे डिफाइन नहीं कर सकता हूँ, लेकिन जितने आर्टिस्ट हैं जिन्होंने इसकी आर्ट को देखा है, आर्ट गैलरीज में इसकी एग्जीबिशंस को देखा है, उनसे मैं सीखने की कोशिश करता हूँ कि इसके लिए और क्या बेहतर हो सकता है। मेरे ख्याल से हमने कभी किसी चीज़ के लिए रोका नहीं, क्योंकि सीखने के लिए, किसी भी टैलेंट को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए ज़्यादा बेहतर है कि जो चीज़ें चाहिए उससे ज़्यादा क्या हो सकता है, या एक्सपेरिमेंट का मौका वो हमने इसे ज़रूर दिया।
Applauded for her talent the world over, Arushi has also made her way into the Guinness Book of World Records for being the youngest professional artist.
She's born in 2002. This 10 years or a decade, if I look back from where she started and where she is today. Today she holds, world's top 5 record-breaking kids. Her record has been recognized as one of the best 5 records of Guinness. That really gives us a pride. I really feel proud. My wife and we at times discuss, she was just a little daughter, and we never thought of, the journey could be so bright for Arushi. I think, if a kid got a talent and their parents are, trying to, make it big, and institution like Guinness, if they recognize it, I think that's the biggest achievement. We, as a parent, we have.
Apart from her talent of art, Arushi's passion to help the underprivileged encouraged her parents to associate with an NGO called Rekhangan.
वो NGO से जुड़ना इसके इंटरेस्ट की वजह से हमें लगा कि हमें उनसे जुड़ना चाहिए, क्योंकि प्रोफेशनल आर्टिस्ट है. प्रोफेशनल आर्टिस्ट कैटेगरी का मतलब ये है कि इसकी अर्निंग है, जो भी थोड़ी बहुत अर्निंग हुई है इसकी, वो उसमें से मैंने हमेशा राशि उस अमाउंट जो है NGO को दिया है, ताकि वो जो बच्चे हैं वो भी इसी तरह के आर्ट को देखें, समझें. क्यों ना उनके लिए ये आर्ट जो है एक कमाई का जरिया या जीने का वजह बने.
मुझे उनके साथ खेलने में मज़ा आता है कि जैसे एक बार मैं एक एग्जीबिशन में गई थी, वहाँ बहुत बच्चा था जो चाय लेकर आया था, मैं उनके साथ खेलना शुरू हो गई थी. Taking photos of nature because I am painting nature.
From picking up the paintbrush as a toddler to handling the camera adeptly, Arushi has all it takes to be called an amazing artist.
This is my favorite painting because I like peace and everyone is going in temple and getting peace. मैंने मंदिर बनाया है, ऐसा सबको पीस मिलती है और यहाँ सब जगह ग्रीनरी है, बहुत सारे पीपल हैं, इसलिए ये मेरी फेवरेट पेंटिंग है. I take like mountains, animals, flowers, sunrise, sunset.
Her proud yet humble parents only wish this wonder kid achieves all that she sets out for.
हम सिर्फ उसको encourage करना चाहते हैं, and I don't want to put my child in a confusion whether this is my hope, my parents' hope, society hope, country hope. I just want her to live the best way she wants to. I want her to, live life the best way, she thinks. But definitely, जहाँ guidance है, as a parents, जो हमारा responsibility है, that we will always do.
Splashing colors of success on her canvas of life, Arushi has proved her mettle as a young Indian in the field of art. On the other side of the break, meet Dr. Vatwani, who has taken the responsibility of reuniting mentally ill patients with their families.
We don't establish contact with the family. We directly take them to that particular village where we believe they belong from. The idea is that if you take the patient, you can in some cases contact the relative and the relative may come over here. But it is much better to take the patient to the village.
हमारा गया था घर में से, वैसे ही बच्चे हमको घर को लेके आए ना.
My brother is there, so he is not caring for me.
मेरी जिंदगी बदल गया. मैं तो मरने वाला था. मैं तो यही रोड के ऊपर पड़ा था. 18 साल था मेरा वो टाइम.
Forced to live a life of destitution, the journey back home for the mentally ill is often a distant dream. Bridging this gap is 54-year-old psychiatrist from Mumbai, Dr. Bharat Watwani.
When the person is mentally ill and he wanders out from his house, nobody's bothered. People are in fact scared. They don't want to touch him. So the person is wandering around. Maybe he gets into a train. When he gets into a train, nobody asks him for the ticket. Invariably, the train comes to a last station like Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, major metros, wherein train ko pura khali kar diya jata hai. And they are out back on the station, wandering around. So in the process of this mental illness, person can wander for days, months, years.
Providing shelter to the mentally ill and the roadside destitute is Shraddha, a rehabilitation home in Karjat in Maharashtra.
Initially, we are looking after basic hygiene and basic nutrition. Person is in a bad shape physically. Then we gradually start psychiatric medicine on him in a very slow format. Then धीरे-धीरे करके psychiatric उसका medicine बढ़ाते रहते हैं as per my observation. ज़्यादा करके ये जो patients आते हैं वो rural background के रहते हैं. तो because we have a good vast campus, हम लोग उनको rice cultivation, vegetable cultivation, dairy farming, इसमें हम लोग लगाते हैं. This kind of brings them back to their roots. I feel more than teaching them a skill, the improvement rate is much faster.
As patients get better and start recalling their past, it is time for Dr. Watwani and his team of social workers to take them back to their homes.
We don't establish contact with the family. We directly take them to that particular village where we believe they belong from, because that creates an impact on the whole village. That is the idea. Finally, they realize that here is a person who has become all right and is being brought back. So mental illness is a treatable commodity. That word tends to spread very fast.
Pushpa Dhumal, a former inmate, now cooks for Shraddha.
I like to be a part of Shraddha here because here social workers are good. Our sir is very good person. His nature is also very good. He doesn't treat patient as a patient. He claps them like her father or brother, like that.
Another success story is that of Gangadhar Vinod, one of Dr. Watwani's earliest patients.
He had met with an accident on the road. His leg was fractured. He couldn't walk, and he was literally in a कैटास्ट्रॉफिक स्टेट. पतला एकदम हड्डी दिख रही थी. तो हमने उसको कहा कि हम लोग इसको शिफ्ट कर देते हैं अपने यहाँ. छोटा मेरा नर्सिंग था, मेरे पास जगह नहीं थी. मैंने उसको जमीन पर लेटाया, वहाँ पर ट्रीटमेंट चालू की. 2 महीने हुए, तभी मेरे पास कोई सोशल वर्कर था ही नहीं. तो आई हैड अ मोटरसाइकिल ऑफ माई ओन. मैं मोटरसाइकिल पर निकल पड़ा. उन्होंने कहा पूना में उनकी एड्रेस है. तो पूना में जब हम गए तो अराउंड 20 किलोमीटर्स बिफोर एवरीबडी टोल्ड मी गंगाधर वहाँ रहते हैं, गंगाधर वहाँ रहते हैं, गंगाधर वहाँ रहते हैं. और फाइनली उसका रियूनियन हुआ.
इनका बहुत बड़ा काम है. ऐसा कोई घर वाला भी नहीं करता है. अगर कोई थोड़ा सा गलती करता है तो घर वाले भी मारते हैं, लेकिन ये लोग बहुत प्यार से ये करते हैं.
A journey that started in 1988 as a small 5-bed setup in Mumbai has faced its share of ups and downs.
जब हमने चालू करने की कोशिश की तब वहाँ पर जो आसपास के रेजिडेंट्स थे उन्हें लगा कि यहाँ पर एक मानसिक हॉस्पिटल नहीं आनी चाहिए. सो द रेजिडेंट्स काइंड ऑफ वेज द वॉर. द मैटर वेंट टू कोर्ट, और फाइनली हाई कोर्ट ने ये जजमेंट दिया कि चाहे कुछ भी हो, वॉट एवर द डॉक्टर इज डूइंग इज genuine charitable work for the service of the society, and therefore he deserves to stay within that society.
Determined to change orthodox mindset about mental illness in his own unique way, Dr. Watwani is truly an ordinary Indian with an extraordinary achievement. We continue our journey next week as we bring you the story of Ajay Chaturvedi, an engineer who is generating employment opportunities in rural India. Meet Santosh Oswal, an incredible innovator who has converted a simple mobile phone into a remote control system that is benefiting farmers across Maharashtra. Watch the inspirational journey of Bibi Mohammadi, who made education her crutch for more than 20 years.